Welcome back, folks. Hey, yeah, I was only gone just a second there, waiting for this slow ass thing to upload. This one here is going to be about the facts. Before we get started, I'll throw a few things out there, and then maybe you'll see things a little differently, or maybe not, or maybe you'll see things in a way that I haven't seen. But this is yours, okay? Facts. What does that mean? What does facts mean? I'm not sure what Black's Law says about it. So let's see. Let's see here. Facts. It has a bunch of stuff to say about facts. Good page and a half long. Facts. A thing done, an action performed, or an incident transpiring. An event or circumstance. An actual occurrence. An actual happening to time or space, or an event, mental or physical. There's a footnote here that says a fact is either a state of things, that is an existence, or a motion, that is an event. There's a bunch more stuff in here about facts, but we'll just leave it with that. But think about this, folks. This is a contract, what you're writing up here. And so the facts are the facts. You didn't hear me say the truth. The definition is an actual event. It could be an actual event by the way you perceive it. Perception is a big thing to do in these facts. The first time I wrote the facts, my guy who put me up on the conditional acceptance, or at least this first part of it, he said, write down the facts. Tell me what happened. So I wrote down, I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? He said, take all your child support papers and spread them out on the table and put them in order from oldest to newest, or most recent. He said, then what I want you to do is go through those things and try and remember what happened. How you perceived it. So I did, and I sent him to him, and he messed them up, and, well, he corrected them is what he did. I went in and said what I thought happened, and he sent me my facts back with a bunch of red. A lot of the words, some of the words he changed, he turned them red and turned them black, if you agree. And he rephrased a lot of stuff. And when he was done, I looked at him and I said, man, I really feel sorry for myself. Yeah, he made it look like this is the crappiest thing that's ever happened to anybody. That's how you should get your head wrapped around the facts that you're going to make. What these guys do, man, it's crazy mean, you know? How can somebody do another human like that? Yeah, that's how you're going to write them. You're not going to argue in the facts. Try and get your argument out of the facts. Because the facts are the facts. They're going to contractually agree that they are the facts. So put whatever you want. Change them however you want. Lie, okay? Let me just come straight out and say that. If you want to lie, go ahead and lie. Because they're going to agree to it anyway. That's the way the facts are going to work. They're going to contractually agree that your facts are the facts. In this one here, it basically, what he's talking about is how he got pulled over. and how he got the ticket and facts. One, on Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2016, I was traveling west on Highway 106, going to work at 7:30 a.m. That my automobile was not registered with the trust business entity, state of Tennessee, in all caps, and is therefore my private property and not governed by corporate statutes. They're going to contractually agree to his number too. After passing the school, an emergency vehicle pulled in behind me. At this time, I was behind a school bus. I signaled to move to the left to pass the bus. After passing the bus, I signaled to move to the right, and the driver of the emergency vehicle followed me and got behind me. And he goes on to say what happened. One thing that he said was that unless Webb can... Wait a minute, let me back up a little bit more. The occupant and the occupant had a name tag which read M. Webb, and he came to my vehicle and told me, "I shot you with radar, and you were speeding." Okay, what did he just do? He just admitted that he assaulted you. I shot you with a radar. Them cops won't hold those guns over their crotches for fear it'll sterilize them, and they're going to shoot you with radiation. That's a threat. That's a assault. And then he said, and you were speeding. Actually, if there was any speeding to their terms, it would have been the car that was speeding and not you. You're just in it, riding along. Another thing, too, is speed is a noun. When you see the sign that says speed limit 55 or 65 or whatever the case may be, speed speed is the noun and limit is the adjective. So if speed is the noun, what is speed as a noun? Methamphetamine, okay? Oh, wait a minute, officer, I wasn't speeding. Some of y'all are probably like, yeah, I was speeding. Yeah. So think about the words that are being used and how they're being used. I didn't care much for English growing up, man. I thought it sucked. I hated English, man. I'd rather do some math. But now I realize after college English classes that it's very important. You can take their words and use English grammar and syntax and totally destroy them if you know what you're doing. So take a little time to learn some English, folks, if you haven't. It goes on to say, Webb produced no injured party in order to initiate an action. That he did not present any evidence of a particular radar beam that allegedly hit and bounced off of me and or my automobile and back to his radar gun, and did not specify if I was the one that was allegedly speeding, or the automobile was allegedly speeding, or both me and the automobile were speeding. That radar causes cancer, and him declaring that he shot me with the radar intentionally placed me in danger of contracting cancer in the future. Play this stuff around. He goes out to do the whole thing. Unless Webb can prove otherwise, such as evidence of the specific spattle pattern of radar beam traveled and beam did not hit me specifically, then Webb willfully and knowingly committed a criminal negligence against me. That he had asked for license, registration, and proof of insurance. I offered him my certificate of non-citizen status Ron did one of this stuff way before I met him. He kind of got me into that direction. Yeah, I learned quite a bit from him in a month or the couple months before we got hit. And he asked what it was for, and I replied, "It's public law filed in the public record." He did all this stuff and then went down to the courthouse and filed it in the record and stuff. He was basically trying to hit him up, trying to find out, oh, you're one of them sovereign citizen type. That an alleged law enforcement officer, again, I said, statutes do not apply to me, because he's trying to, do the thing. And that as an alleged law enforcement officer, and since ignorant of the law is no excuse, Webb, knowing the law, C11 Amjur, subsection 329, and 25 Amjur, subsection 163 and 165, and that the statutes are abrogations of the common law, therefore I can only conclude that he was committing fraud by deception. And he goes into this whole, thing of what happened, and even mentioned some of the stuff that could go into. Actually starts mentioning the law and the stuff. Some of y'all have read this. A lot of it's same kind of stuff that are in some of the other traffic documents y'all have seen. Then we go through all that. Furthermore, the license, he mentions that in the facts, the definition of license, and furthermore, the Bar Association is a monopolistic control, and its monopolistic control over the judiciary is a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. He goes into busting out the bar. Adds some stuff about the Tennessee Constitution, Article 1, Bill of Rights, Section 26, which has to do with monopolies and perpetuities. And then 6, or 64, number 64 in here, that as you know or should know, there are 87 types of law and at least 31 arenas of jurisdiction. And then there's a whole list of the different types of law, 87 of them here, and then 31 jurisdictions. This is an older document. This is 2015. I've since then added more. There's actually, what I found so far, there's 207 types of law, and there's 89 arenas of jurisdiction. But this is enough. And see, that's the way they do it. They'll bring you in, and they may be in one type of law and another type of jurisdiction, and then they change that. Or they combine them. They might be under 2 types of law or 3 types of law in 1 or 2 arenas. They're constantly changing. That's why, folks, if they take you out because you ruffled their feathers, they're going to try and bring you back in. When they do that, they're going to bring you back in another jurisdiction. And that is explaining the facts, pretty much. Write them the way you want to write them. If you say in the facts the sky is brown, then these jokers that you're hitting are going to contractually agree that the sky is brown. Also, the attorney generals are going to be like, yeah, the sky is brown. That's what this does. They're going to contractually agree to the facts. And if any of y'all have read mine, I just started putting it out not too long ago. It's missing the first page. So that's what I was doing between these breaks. I was creating another one that I could share. It's the child support document. And in there, I put in the facts. I was in the military. Me and my wife were married, and we had children. And I got hurt in 91. I fell off a cliff, 50 foot off a cliff. And was in a wheelchair for a while, and my wife left me, and she took the children and gave them to her aunt and uncle, and I went through the whole spiel. What had happened in 15 years, or 15 or 16 years, from the time we'd met until the time I was writing this contract. And she agreed. I served her with it, and she agreed. She agreed that she divorced me, and that she did it without me committing adultery or being violent or mean or anything like that to her. I put that all in the facts. And now you contractually agree to it. The judges, I had the child support referee said that I didn't have, once they finally got her after 15 years, she finally admitted that she wasn't taking care of the kids, hadn't been. The judge said I didn't have to pay anymore, or the arrears. Within a month, she went in front of Judge Vance. He's dead now. In the circuit court, or the circuit tribunal. And he basically told me, folks, if you're not paying, or if you're not paying, then nobody's paying and somebody's paying. That's how I put it in the facts, or kind of anyway. But he didn't say it exactly like that. But guess what? He just contractually agreed that he did. And then there's some more stuff that I'm going to get into here before I do this other video, and it's going to be on the conditions. In here, I put some stuff in here. Additionally, over 95% of all vehicle accidents are through licensed drivers or drivers who have been licensed. Therefore, the alleged competent authority issuing these licenses is incompetent at best and willfully, knowingly, and maliciously, criminally negligent and murderous at worst. Yet through fraud and conspiracy, you claim no liability for your actions. Folks, there's a bunch of statistics in here about the fatality rate in licensed and unlicensed drivers. The report I put in here is called Unlicensed to Kill, sponsored by the AAA Foundation for Safety. And they're talking about that 8,400 people die on average each year in crashes with unlicensed drivers. It is also found that 28% of the law-breaking drivers have received 3 or more license suspensions and or revocations in the 3 years before the fatal crashes. That means of the 29,200 fatalities per year, 20,800, or 71.2%, are from licensed drivers. So who's out here killing folks? Licensed drivers. Who gave them the license? The state. They are licensing them to kill. Most people that don't have licenses aren't out here driving and running over people because they're afraid they're going to get pulled over and busted without a license. They're going to drive at decent speeds. They're going to watch what they're doing a little bit and try not to get in any accidents. So it's the licensed drivers that are out here killing folks. And the state gives them permission. A license is permission to break the law. They're giving them permission to break the law, and they're going out here and killing people at a rate of 71.2%. I put that in there. It says your citation was issued to the trust, RJL, or Ronald James Lyons, all caps, as having committed infractions against your corporation's policies, wherein you know that the trust, RJL, is merely a piece of paper and could not possibly have committed the infraction. I, on the other hand, could not have committed the infraction inasmuch as I have the right to travel on the public highways and would not require a license. That means you have no real party and interest in order to pursue your actions lawfully, and therefore your actions against me are treasonous. Conspiracy to commit treason, fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, extortion, and conspiracy to commit extortion. Furthermore, since you have contracted that you are attempting to produce or to proceed under military admiralty jurisdiction by and through the standard you display, the yellow fringe flag, that you have no jurisdiction over me, a human, that has the then you are committing treason and conspiracy to commit treason against me by your obvious attempt to overthrow the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution for the United States of, and the Bill of Rights. On the other hand, if you were attempting to fraudulently make me pseudo-trustee for the trust, RJL, knowing full well that I cannot be both the beneficiary and trustee of the same trust at the same time, guys out here doing the 1099As, you cannot be the beneficiary or the borrower on the 1099A and then turn around and be the same one doing the OID, the 96, and the 1040V. You can't do that. That's acting like it's a bank, or you're trying to get it like it's a bank. Most of you all are done with that. You got your head wrapped around that. But for new people coming in, think about that, man. You cannot use this as a bank. You cannot be. You will always be the beneficiary. Will always be the borrower. The lender will always be the treasury on the 1099A. Go find somebody to be the trustee. For whatever the reason you're paying or consultating, or there's one guy out there. He I don't know if he was going through with it or what, but I'm glad he sent me the pictures. He had himself as the borrower on the 1099A, and the description was consultation. And then over on the description in the OID, it was the same guy. I said, man, you're charging yourself $250,000 to talk to yourself? No, it don't work like that, buddy. So he got his head wrapped around it, and that was pretty cool. We shot a few messages back and forth, and he's straight. So, so being, your criminal actions include, but not limited to, treason, conspiracy to commit treason, extortion, conspiracy to commit extortion, fraud, and conspiracy to commit fraud, are conditionally accepted by me with the following conditions. I'll get right back with y'all with the conditions, okay? Peace.